Right, we're live at 5. We're late as usual. Right, let's make sure you can see what we're doing, because that I'm going to turn that around and make it go that away. Okay guys, welcome back to Roberts & Co. Welcome back to London, another live jewellery making session. Today we need to make some jump rings. A day off from making T-bar pendants to make T-bar pendant components. At the moment I'm in the process of making a big batch of these. I'll give you a close-up of these. T-bars. I need to make all the different sizes. This one's a 2cm one. I just happen to be making these. I'm restocking us and I'm restocking Amazon at the moment. So it's kind of, I've been doing these for the last few days, but I've mainly been doing it for the last few days because I couldn't do that many because we were quite late. And I'm late again today. Let's get the YouTube. It's 7 o'clock. I'm supposed to be here at 5. Let's turn that down as well. Right, so we're going to make some jump rings, which are the jump rings for that using this, the Durston Jump Ring Former. I'm actually going to use the dies that are in it, the mandrels that come with it. I've got some longer mandrels, aftermarket mandrels. What are these, 300mm long, 250mm? 250mm, but if I try and saw 250mm of jump rings up, this will make about, I think it was 80 or 90mm. These are 120mm long. That's enough sawing for one live stream. Trying to saw through the whole thing of this will be here for a while. In fact, should I do that? I might just make the 250 coil because I don't have to saw them all tonight, do I? So we use the 3mm rod because I'm going to need a load of these. So yeah, I'll show you the difference. That's the difference in length we're talking. But it gets a bit harder to hold this thing down. It really needs to be screwed down, bolted down. But to be honest, the way they've drilled the holes in this, I don't know how you bolt it down, because how do you put a bolt? How would you put a bolt in that? They put that hole so close to that, Durston have. How do you bolt that down? You don't. I've got some 8 little bolts here. For a rolling mill that I've got to bolt down. Like, it's going to go in, but the head of the thing's not, you know, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to bolt that down? Bodge it, make the space up. They didn't think that, they've done all of that, and they drilled the hole in the wrong place. Special, they are. You can bolt it down there, no problem. That one, what were they thinking? Right, new year, green tea, we're on that, namaste, all that. Missing B already. So yeah, if you're watching Durston, you need to rethink that bolt hole. It's retarded. Other than that, everything's cool. Do this. Right, let's see if that's actually in shot. Yeah. This will probably go all over the place. Right, this is 1.5mm wire. We're going for a 3mm inside. So let's just make sure that's inside chuck there. End it about there. Yeah, that's why I was thinking I'd make the long coil, because you end up with a little bit of waste doing this. And if I keep doing the short ones, I'm going to end up with more waste in the long run, because I'm going to use, we're going to use these I've got to make so many of these pendants because I'm running low on the 3cm one as well. So when I've done with the 2, let's make some 3s. There we go, there's that. Is that good enough? Yeah. So we'll have to pull slightly back towards the drill chuck, but not so much that it wants to run back on itself. But yeah, sort of to maintain constant tension and get a consistent size you want. Hopefully that's in shot, but yeah, you can see it would be easier if it was bolted down, but we're managing all right. I think there's probably a certain size you get to where it's going to be quite difficult to do without the thing bolted down. You're going to have to drill a hole in that aluminium base before you drill it, before you bolt it to anything. You could get a G-clamp, I suppose. Cut the G-clamps and bolt it to something, and clamp it to something. Alright, you probably can't even see that in the camera. We're getting close to the end. We're getting quite close to knocking that water off as well. Yeah. It's getting quite hard to hold. Right, look at that. A few hours work there, cutting those off. Give you a little close up. So now we need to begin sawing. I'm going to have to saw that coil end off first. Right. I think this is a 1.0 or 2.0 saw blade I've got in here. I loaded it up actually because I knew I had a size 3. I actually put the new saw blade in before I hit the go live button. I just want to check it on some 3mm rod. Make sure that the size is okay because I don't know what I was cutting these with before. I'm going to adapt the size of the finished size of the jump rings by changing the thickness of the saw. Obviously the thicker the saw, to make this side, the bigger the saw blade, the thicker it is, you can make the rings come out slightly smaller, and vice versa. And put really fine blades in there, they'll be slightly bigger. See how good a fit these are. that's a good fit. Right, perfect. I guessed correctly. Right, let's do some sawing. But yeah, I've actually got a long format video coming out tomorrow. Well, at the time of me going live, it comes out tomorrow. If you're watching this in the future, it might come out. It's out already. It's on the channel. You can watch a whole video and review of this Durston Jump Ring Former with poorly drilled bolt holes. Other than that, you can see our verdict in the long form video. Right, I'll give you a little close up while I'm at it of what we're actually making. Right, there we go. 3mm inside diameter, 1.5mm wire, so approximately 6mm outside diameter. I say approximate because they're on here at a slight angle. I don't know if that makes them bigger or smaller. But it definitely, it probably makes them, does it make them? It makes them slightly bigger, but then sawing them makes them slightly smaller. So it evens out. You end up with exactly the right size. I try and keep the mandrel in for as long as I can, just to stop, otherwise it will sort of coil and bend. You've got to be careful not to hit it with the saw blade. It doesn't actually, it might mark the mandrel, it doesn't, you won't saw through them, but you end up, you're more prone to breaking blades when you've got, you're hitting that steel. But eventually, once the coil gets a little bit shorter and there's less tension holding it in, like with these short mandrels, it's actually quite hard to, it just falls out, and when this coil gets shorter, this will just fall out. But when it's quite long like this, I'll keep it in as long as I can. I'll keep it in as long as it will stay in. I'm not going to saw this whole coil tonight live. I'm going to saw enough though to get us through a few live streams making T-bar pendants. Plus, I guess what everyone wants to know is how good I am actually at using a jeweler's saw live without the ability to edit out. Nearly did it. Nearly snapping blades. How many blades am I going to go for? Where did that go? I lost it. I think I lost it. I don't think I'm any better or any worse than any other jeweller. Some days, you know, you seem to get on a roll with bracing blades, or I do. Some days I think, you know what, I should just not be. I should not be sawing today. There it is, wherever that was. I don't use wax or any lubricant, anything like that on blades either. I always use them just dry. I guess they have some residual machine oil on them. But, you know, they're not spotlessly clean, but I don't add any beeswax or the branded lubes, which I've made videos about jeweler's saw frames, like quite long format videos, and I think it's a good idea if you're just piercing, if you're doing like name pendants or something like that. It makes sawing easier. You'll consume less blades, but everything needs cleaning afterwards if you're going to solder the stuff. So yeah, I've never used it. I've kind of got used to not using it. There's probably an argument for saying you could probably be better off learning to do it without the aid of lube. So when you've got solder jobs, you haven't got the added faff of having to clean everything. But then if you are doing something that's very complicated, some filigree sawing, you can add lube to make your life easier. Oil, wax, whatever. To be honest, you'd probably get away with soldering, I reckon, because it will just, the wax and the oil will just burn off. But it's not getting away with something and best practice are two different things, aren't they?
I mean, that's why they add oil and wax to ingot moulds, to stop the, you know, it's just to prevent the metal sticking. So when you're soldering, you want the opposite. All the jewellery teachers and books forget to mention that though. The soldering section says you definitely need lube, which you don't, and the soldering section forgets to mention that if you've used it, you need to clean it off. Maybe they only tell you that bit in the Patreon. You got to pay extra for that. Buy the ebook or sign up for Patreon or the monthly subscription model. But what I think the online teachers are actually better than the ones that wrote books back in the day. The books have glaring omissions. The books probably have bigger omissions in sections, especially when it comes to making ingots. So that I think the online lot are an improvement on the people that got book deals back in the day. I don't know where they got those lot from. Some of them are great. Some of the books are fantastic, but I don't think there's any particular one. You have to have them all because they seem to have a detailed knowledge in some sections and they miss bits in others. Right, I think we've got enough jump rings there for the next live stream or two. Then I should quit, shouldn't I? Well, I haven't, before I break a blade. And while I still look like a pro. Right, I think that's it. I nearly broke the blade again then. Definitely quitting while I'm ahead. While we still have an intact saw blade. It's starting to get blunt and hot, and that's when they become more prone to breaking. I can keep that on there for sawing. Maybe we'll have a live sawing thing. So I'll give you a close up on these on the way out. So we've gone from 1.5mm wire using the Durston Jump Ring Former and I bought these from Russia actually. Back in the day when you could buy stuff from there.
250mm mandrel set. So there's our jump rings. Right, I will see you in the next one tomorrow. T-bars production returns. Now we've got jump rings.